So here's some of my fly boxes, some of the typical flies that we use for Colorado fishing. This is my larger dry box here. You can see I've got some Royal Wolves, which are one of my favorite flies right there. Some Amy's Ants, which work really well for hopper droppers. And then just a lot of elk hair caddis, some foamback caddis. Lots of good dries there. This box is mostly like streamers and attractors. So here's probably my favorite fly, the girdle bug. We got some mott flies, some big stones, big stone nymphs, golden stones, and then some prints, which are always awesome. And then we got a bunch of streamers over here, you know, ranging from woolly boogers, and we got a mouse, a little mousing, to you know, just various, some are articulated, some not articulated, streamers and zonkers, really good stuff. Okay, this box is, basically we have egg patterns, different colors. We got a bunch of scuds, some more eggs, lots of worms, brown, red, pink, you know. We have squirmy worms, which are like that. They're kind of gooey. And your traditional salmon worms, which are more. And then we have some mysis shrimp. Those are mysis shrimp, these are mysis shrimp. And then a few more worms. So this box is all basically, you know, worms and eggs and various crustaceans. Then I got my little nymph box. And this guy has my favorite zebra midges there. And then an assortment of colored midges, some rust zebras there. And we have here like little black beauties and that kind of stuff, some tiny little copper johns, and then some more zebras in various colors. So those are some of my favorites. Then this box is mostly all small midges, small nymphs anyway. Beadhead prints. And on the other side of this box are small little dries like trichos, Griffith's gnat, and I think there's some parachute atoms in there as well. And then finally, I carry a leaderboard, and then the leaderboard, I think I've showed that before, basically has setups on it that are pre-tied, pre-wound. So these are two fly setups, typically small midges that will go on the end of an attractor fly setup. So that's what my fly boxes look like in my bag. And then I'll show you downstairs too. I don't keep all my flies with me because if I lose one of these boxes, if you do the math here, you know, if this has 100 flies in there, that box alone is probably worth, you know, $300. So you don't want to lose one of those on the river and lose everything. So yeah, I'll show you my little fly shop downstairs too. Okay, here's my downstairs fly shop, and you know, got some tying equipment over here, just some storage for you know, various things. I keep you know, I keep cabinets here as well for, you know, fly lines and spare boxes and that kind of stuff. And we even have some spare parts, some spare reels, you know. So we're ready for, you know, whatever we need to do there. Primarily though, the main purpose of this, so here, Rowlett's bait and tackle, soda beer and snacks. The main purpose of this really is to give me a place to store flies. So what I like to do is, when I find good deals on flies or the flies that I use all the time, I like to buy up extras. And then you can see I just keep these drawers and I keep all my flies in there. And that way I don't have all of them in the box with me all the time on the river, because I don't want to risk losing them, you know. You can see some of the ones I keep in here. And then, you know, when I need flies, when I run out of a certain fly, then I come here and I restock. So I check my bags before I go, And we got some beads in here, bead setups. What else do we have here? We got miscellaneous dries. We've got more flies. We got eggs and worms. So we got all kinds of stuff. We even have, these are my Alaska flies here, for like the Russian River. These are called flesh flies. We use those in Alaska. Girdle bugs. Can never have too many girdle bugs. More girdle bugs. So an amazing attractor. Egg sucking leech. These are kind of big dries and crickets and hoppers. Various streamers. Showed you those. These are saltwater flies here. Mostly shrimp patterns and some black streamers. So yeah, that's a great idea to keep some flies at home where they're safe, and when you run out, you know where to go to restock. I've got this set up here, which I was getting ready to take to Florida. This is all saltwater here. These are little mullet patterns, and then some crabs and some shrimp. So that was, and then there's a bunch more in here as well. But this is all saltwater fishing here. So, all right, signing off from Railheads. Okay, one other thing I want to show you is my fishing bench. So this is another vital piece of fishing equipment here. So it's basically like a workbench in the garage, but it is really just designed for nothing but fishing stuff. So, I got some rod holders, some net holders. We've got spinning rods and some big Alaska gear here and some ocean rods, and just kind of keep them organized. And then on the other side, we have fly rod storage. I only have 2 of them there now, and got the other 3 in the truck. And then we just got some equipment, places for bags and waders and just all the vital stuff. A couple things here that I find really handy. So one, we have a line winder, which for fly rods we can use that for the backing, and for spin rods we can wind up the line on those. And just there's all kinds of stuff that you need constantly, and you're trying to keep organized constantly. And then one other tip that I have is a fly fishing tub. This is probably the most useful thing I've ever done from a fly fishing perspective. So inside that tub, I literally have everything. I keep my waders, I keep spare laces for my boots, in case you break one, a patch kit for my waders, I keep buffs, I keep sunscreen, I keep, just extra tools, extra flies, just stuff that you just have to have all the time. So you definitely need a tub. Got a couple tubs, as you can see. So, and that orange bin there, or that orange box there, is where I keep my walkie-talkies. Good stuff. So yeah, just an essential part. And then here is the we kind of call this like the wall of fame. It's just kind of where we keep all of our best catches. Just a lot of fish pictures there, a whole lot, and some cool magnets and stuff down there. So yeah, just kind of a fun place to be able to keep pictures and gear and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we got pictures down here. That was kind of where it all started, with just kind of keeping some pictures here, and then just kind of grew over time. And then just some little stuff that we keep, some souvenirs and crazy stuff. Like we found that piece of wood right there. Doesn't it look like a fish? So cool. And some shells and things like that. So, and these are all like lures and flies that have like broken hooks or bent hooks, or where the flies are just coming apart. So just all stuff that has nostalgia, and we remember catching fish on those, and now it's time for them to be retired. We keep some line here where we practice knots, that kind of stuff. So yeah, always good to. Here's a bunch of heavy duty leaders, like 1X, 0X tippet, those kinds of things. I really only put that on like if we're going for kokanee salmon or something like that, so we don't need to carry those in the bag all the time. So yeah, just you know, fishing hats. Got to have plenty of fishing hats. Oh, yay, just good stuff. So I showed you the outside of my tub and talked about how important it is and how convenient it is, quite frankly, to have a tub. So let's talk about what's inside the tub. I have this tool bag in here, which I have a lot of different stuff in. I have extra leaders and headlamps and that kind of stuff, some extra flies. But one of the most critical things right here is a pair of side dikes. When you go fishing, you know, you run the risk of getting a hook. Now, little flies are not too bad, but you know, there are bigger streamers and stuff like that. If you ever get a big hook in your skin, typically the only way you're going to get it out in the field is to push it through to where you can access the barb, cut that barbed end off, and then pull it right through. So always keep a pair of side dikes with you. A couple other important things: sunscreen. Keep some binocs for looking at bald eagles, that kind of stuff. Duct tape, you never know. Always have duct tape. Extra set of sunglasses. I have lost sunglasses on the river, and on a bright sunny day on a bright river, that can ruin your day, right? You can't see the fish. You're gonna have sun in your eyes, tough to fish. So always have that. Another really critical thing is this is a patch kit for waders. So whenever you buy waders, always save these little extra pieces of vinyl that come with it, right? They always give you that. Don't ever throw those away. Then go buy Loctite vinyl and plastic glue. I have one that I've been using and one that's not even open yet. So keep that. If you ever get a hole in your waders, you need to be able to patch it. What else? Drink holder. Cold weather gear. A lot of cold weather gear. I got some extra socks because in case your socks get wet. A head sock, more gloves, and more kind of head socks and stuff. So you need all that winter gear that you can just keep in there. This whole bag is just full of, I don't know, about a dozen or so buffs. Towels. So towels are very critical because if you're fishing in the winter and your hands get wet, that's when they get cold. As long as you can keep them dry, you're good. So these are just little washcloths actually. And you know, you can keep 2 or 3 in your pockets while you're fishing. You come back for lunch. If they're wet, you can swap them out, get some dry ones on. Hand warmers. We talked about the importance of hand warmers for the winter. Little first aid kit and some band-aids and that kind of stuff in case you get a cut, scrape, whatever. The infamous poop bag. Don't go fishing without it. Then finally, you know, I got these are my chest high waders, and then my my waist high waders. So it all just fits right in there. Hard to do with one hand, but it all just kind of fits in there. And then boom, when you head to the river, you grab one tub and you have everything you need or could possibly need. So your day is not ruined. Okay, let's talk nets for a second. So this is your basic fly fishing net that every fly shop wants to sell you. Costs about 20 bucks and it's about worth 20 bucks or less. A couple things about this net. One is it's small, right? You're not going to catch any big fish in this net. Keep in mind that when you're fly fishing, netting is almost as important as anything else, because if you hook into a big fish, that fish is not coming out of the water unless he's in the net, right? So it's a matter of fighting that fish so you get him close enough to net him. That's how you're going to get him in. The second thing about this is the material. This mesh material right here catches your flies and they're impossible to get out. So as soon as you hook a fish in here, if you got a multi-fly rig, all your other flies are going to be hooked in there, and you're going to be battling your net all day. Okay, so that's gone, trash. All right, number 2. This is a whole step better. This is a wooden handle, which is fine. It's a little heavy, but it has this rubberized net. You see this rubberized net? Makes a world of difference. So that rubberized net, it's so easy to unhook your flies. The other thing is this is huge. I don't know if you can see that, but this is probably at least a 20-inch opening. As a matter of fact, I've got a line right there, I think, where like the 22-inch mark is. So, you know, netting big fish. It's a longer handle, which is huge. Huge net, so you're not going to hurt the fish. And then the rubberized net, that's really good. But downside is very heavy. Okay, so now the ultimate nets are by Fish Pond or, you know, any other brand like this, but this is like a carbon fiber handle. And it's also a 20-inch opening. I like this one because it's kind of narrow, because you know, fish aren't that wide. They don't need to be too wide, but they're long, right, if you catch some big ones. So again, super long handle, makes it easy to net. And then, you know, the rubberized basket makes it super easy to get your flies out. So this guy, Fish Pond, this is about $150 net, but well worth it. I love this net. Super light, packs real nice in my bag. Just sticks right in that little net slot. And yeah, it makes life so much easier. So never thought I'd spend 150 bucks on a net, but I'll tell you what, now that I have, well worth it, well worth it. So, all right, that's another stop on the gear review. Okay, I want to talk about walkie-talkies for a minute. This box right here, the one that says, as Emily says, pull work out of the way, I'd rather go fishing, is a box I like to bring. And what I have in here are these Motorola little walkie-talkies. I keep 4 of these, and you can see I got strings on all of them. They can be carabinered on to your waders, your fly bag, whatever. These are really important because, you know, we'll go out sometimes, like me, Tommy, Tyler, the 3 of us, and a lot of places we go, there's no cell phone signal. So these guys have like a 5-mile range, and they really work well. They're clear, easy to understand, easy to hear. You just agree upon what channel. We keep them on 1111 all the time, so we just know how to get a hold of each other. And so we talk, you know, we say, hey, I'm catching fish over here. I don't see any fish over there. How you doing? Or, hey, I'm hungry. Can we meet back at the truck? Or, you know, hey, I fell, and, you know, whatever. So important for safety and communication when you don't have any cell phone coverage. So highly recommend those Motorola ones. They also have a light on them. So they're rechargeable. We just charge them up with a USB charger before we go on a big trip. So talking more about gear, I want to talk about fishing wear. You know, it's important when you're fly fishing, if you're wading in the river and the stream and the creek, even in a lake. If you're fishing, sometimes you want to be able to get in about knee deep to net some big fish. So really happy with the gear I have. So I love these Simms boots. They're fantastic. Really been comfortable, sturdy. Right now I do have the metal spikes in there, which is great in the wintertime. Makes your traction so much better. And even in the summertime, you know, on slippery rocks. The only thing is you don't want to walk around your house or anything in those. So I change those usually on the river. In terms of waders, I've got full chest waders that I do wear on occasion, but right now I'm really enjoying, for the last several years, I've been really enjoying just waist-high waders. These are just a pair of Paramount, which is the first time I bought those. And they've been good. So they're just waist highs. You put them on just like pants. They have zipper pockets. I replaced the cheapo belt that comes with them with one of these camo belts from Walmart. That's like $5 belt. But that works out really well. Fishing shirts are really important, not just for fashion, but what I find the most thing important about a fishing shirt is having pockets, these chest pockets, right? Because when you're on the river and you're in your waders, you need a place for your phone, your keys, you know, easily accessible, right? I keep my readers up there that I need when I tie on flies, so it makes it very convenient. Now let's talk about cold weather. We fish a lot in cold weather in Colorado. Here's typically my setup. I love wearing a shacket. The best part about a shacket is it's warm, for one, because it's insulated real nice, but 2 is it has pockets down here, and I find that absolutely critical. So what do I do? I take these hand warmers, I open them up an hour before, or I open them up on the drive down so they're nice and hot, and then I put one in each pocket. And then while I'm fishing, I can easily access those pockets and I can put my hands in there. So I'll take turns. I'll warm up my left hand for a while, warm up my right hand for a while, and that works out super. I do have some of these like White River fingerless gloves that are okay. They do kind of help, and you can fish in them because they're fingerless, but I generally don't fish with gloves. So the shacket with the hand warmers tends to be my solution. This is a nice idea here. It's a neck gaiter. So in the winter, instead of just wearing a regular buff, you know, this is a nice insulated neck gaiter. And then this is unbelievable. This is a Sitka hat that has the whole back, the ear flaps and all that, and it's nice and fuzzy on the inside. It is so warm. So it looks a little goofy, but you wear it just like a regular hat. You put your sunglasses up there on the brim and keep the sun out of your eyes and all that. But it is like so warm, like wearing a ski cap. So that's kind of my basic fishing setup that works really well in the winter. And then basically in the summer, it's just, you know, a fishing shirt and waist-high waders. Waist-high waders are really nice in the summertime as well because not as hot, easy to get on and off. So the only thing you want to be careful about is how deep the water is when you go with waist highs, right? You don't want to get into water that's going to go into your waders. That's where you want to have chest high, although I don't like to wade that deep anyway. So I do have a wading stick is another really important thing. It's actually right here on my bag, and it's with me all the time on my belt, and it just pops out and pops up into place, kind of like a tent pole with the bungees inside. And I have some tape on there with a little reminder of kind of like where my knee-deep water is, and I try not to go any more deeper than that. So, all right. One more part of the gear review. Being able to get to the river is essential. I love my Tacoma, but you know, rod carrying is also really important. So I had a 4Runner before, and a great setup inside. You can keep the rods completely inside, across the seats, right through the middle headrest and stuff. That works out well. But in the Tacoma, you can't really carry rods unless you break them down, which is kind of a pain. So I did invest in the 4-banger, meaning it holds 4 rods, River Quiver by River Smith. And so it really fits nice up on the truck. It really fits great on the rack. Makes life so much easier because you can basically put 4 full-size rods in without breaking them down. So really convenient. So let's take a look inside the box. And I've got 2 rods in there now. You can see I got my big 8-weight with the Lamson liquid reel. Fits in there no problem. Also have my Orvis Recon and Hydros reel. Also just fits in there. You know, they just slide in and out really nice and easy. So very nice setup there. Really happy with that. And it's nice to be able to put 4 rods, so when you go with a buddy and he brings 2 and you bring 2, it's no problem. So I'll talk a little bit more about rods and reels another video, but just to show you, this is just an Orvis rod, 8-weight. I'm sorry, it's a TFO rod, 8-weight. Had an Orvis rod and broke it on a salmon in Alaska, but this is a TFO that I replaced it with, and this is a nice huge Lamson liquid reel that I love. Metal cast reel. It's really solid, stout, holds up. This is a Hydros, which is pretty top of the line Orvis reel, which is nice, and a Recon 5-weight rod, 9-foot 5-weight, which is a standard, pretty much our standard rod here. I do bring the 8-weight almost everywhere I go, because every now and then I get into some pools that look like they're going to have some huge fish. So, and I have caught some huge fish on that, and also up in Alaska with that rod reel. So. I'll show you a couple other. I got a 4-weight downstairs I want to show you too. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's a nice little packable rod. That's it. Love the River Smith. Love the 4-banger. And love the truck. Got to be able to get there and get home. So that one other rod I was going to show you is what I call my backpacking rod. This is actually just a Cabela's 8-foot 4-weight, and it was not even a $100 rod. It was pretty cheap. Came with a plastic reel, but I've taken that plastic reel off and put a Lamson liquid on there. I don't have any line on there right now. It's a long story, but yeah, this is such a nice little rod. It's for 4-piece 8-foot rod, and I've got a little tube for it. But basically, I can just stick this right in the backpack. So anytime I'm camping, I have just a rod. I don't know if you can really see how small it is, but yeah, it's a tiny little rod. Then I just have a rod in my backpack all the time when I'm hiking, and packs up easy. I have a little fanny pack that I keep some basic fly gear and tools in, and so when I see a stream, I can just set up the rod and fish a little bit. So I use that up in Beaver Creek, and I've used that at Palmer res, the upper res. I'll backpack up there with the rod and then fish for the brookies up there. So caught 100 brookies on this setup here at Palmer, and probably 100 browns at Beaver Creek. So good little rod, fun. Recommend having one like that. What's up, sports fans? We're making the first ever ice fishing video. We just want to do a quick rundown of some of the gear that we take ice fishing, and a little bit of the setup and prep that we need to do. So this is the night before we're leaving. We're going tomorrow. So this is my Smitty sled. You can see it's a pair of snow skis that's been fit with some platforms that we can put that's the shanty where it says clam there. That's the huge bag for the shanty. And then my ice augers, shovel, some chairs. This is my rod case there. It's got about 6 ice rods in there. And so that pulls really nice across the ice and the snow. It just glides like crazy. So that's real good to go. And then the second sled over here, which is also equipped with some skis underneath, which you can kind of see, is for all the rest of the miscellaneous gear. We got the yellow bag there is the safety bag, probably the most important thing that we have with us. It has the ice cleats as well as the spikes that you wear around your neck. We'll talk about those tomorrow. We'll show you those in the video. We have a heater that we can run inside the shanty and a cook stove. So we'll bring some burgers and stuff to grill up. Nice to have some hot food. Some more chairs. Bucket's always a good idea. It's got some extra rod holders. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Ice scoopers, of course, for cleaning out the hole. And then this is very important. This is the Vexilar. You can kind of see that. That's the flasher. Basically, it's a fish finder that works under the ice. So we'll kind of go over that tomorrow as well. So this is all the gear we need. And you need at least 2 people to pull everything out. And well, one other important thing are spud bars. You can see there's 2 spud bars right here. Spud bars are basically big ice chisels. There's the other end of the spud bar. And that's a very important safety feature. So you spud your way out the ice, because if the spud bar goes through the ice, you know the ice is too thin. Then you could potentially fall through. So yeah, important stuff. So, all right, more to come. Stay tuned. All right, we're at the lake, getting the gear out of the truck, unloading, and you can see there's a lot of shanties out already. This should be an absolutely beautiful day. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. It's chilly, lake is nice and frozen. We got the sleds all ready to go. We just unloaded the truck, and the boys are getting their snow gear on. And yeah, we're gonna head out, find us a nice spot, see if we can get some trout, some pike. It's a really nice lake. It goes way back there, and it's absolutely a beautiful spot.